Chapter 6. Webs of Mystery and Lies. Elentrin stood in the woods, leaning against a tree, her piercing blue eyes fixed on Vanis with a smug plate on her lips. Vanis returned her fierce gaze, pausing to consider his next words. His attention shifted as he noticed that soup rendered Xanatos unconscious, causing his breath to become heavy and rapid. In desperation, he spat onto the repulsive mossy ground, pondering, inducing vomiting by thrusting his fingers down his throat. Suddenly, Elentrin's crackle interrupted his thoughts, prompting him to raise an eyebrow and turn his gaze back to her. "I didn't poison your soup," Elentrin declared. "I merely enchanted Xanatos temporarily. He will be wakened soon as I'm gone." "Why are you here then? What do you want?" Vanis shouted back, weary. "I'm here to observe how this new world is treating you. I wonder if you're willing to share information?" Elentrin replied calmly. "I'm not telling you anything. Why should I trust you? Why should I tell you anything? I don't know who you are," Vanis retorted. His distrust is evident. "Do you not recall the wolf when you first left the cave?" "That was me," Elentrin explained. "You tried to eat me!" Vanis interrupted, still sceptical. Elentrin retorted, "No, that was my intention. Do you now recall a roar? That distant roar? I tried to get you away from that monster that's trying to hunt you." Vanis interrupted, "So, your resolution is throwing me off a cliff?" Elentrin scoffed and rolled her eyes. "That wasn't my intention. You can thank your friend for that. He's the reason I got shot with that fireball, and why you fell from my mouth." Vanis interjected, "Then why do you want me alive? Why did you want to save me?" Elentrin replied, "As I said, I had my reasons." Vanis shouted, "Well, I don't trust you. Why should I? Just leave. I'm not telling you anything." Elentrin scoffed. "Fine. Before I go, can I give you one piece of advice? Do you trust Xanatos more? How much do you really know about him? Do you really know his true intentions?" Elentrin crossed her arms, smirking as she continued, "Not everyone is what they seem. Until you really get to know them, you don't know anyone's true intentions. Anyone could be foe or friend. So heed my warning. Maybe Xanatos is not the person you think he is. Just keep an eye out." She clicked her fingers and whispered, "Until we see each other again." Smoke enveloped her, and the wolf emerged, baring his teeth at Vanis, causing his body to shake. The giant wolf let out a large howl before disappearing into the forest. Vanis let out a big breath, his body starting to relax. His gaze fixed on where Elentrin was. He shook his head, and then slowly returned to the camp where Xanatos had awakened from his induced slumber. Xanatos gazed at Vanis, his eyes narrowed. Xanatos asked, "Why did you emerge from the forest?" Vanis stood still, paused, and then spoke. "I just needed to go to the bathroom." Xanatos grunted and returned his gaze to the fire flames, speaking deeply. "Come sit, I need to tell you something." Without hesitation, Vanis did just that, sat beside the fire flames as instructed, staring at Xanatos with a tight chest. Xanatos spoke. "Remember when I told you we fled our home when attacked? The one who attacked us was Xanatos. His right-hand man was honest. No one has ever seen Xanatos' face because the metal silver mask with horns always covers it. He wears a gauntlet metal garment resembling a crown and metal gauntlets that cover his flesh. Rumours say he wears a mask to cover his burnt skin, as he was burnt alive in a previous life and reborn for revenge. His right-hand man also wears a plain mask, half white and half blue. Elise will own it. I know he hides his burnt face. I was the one who caused it when we last saw each other before the fateful day when my home was attacked. Many of our best warriors died as Xanthos brought us the most deadly creatures this world has to offer. Xanatos stared sternly at Valnis. I hope you never counted them. The reason I'm telling you this is because I don't trust you, or that person you were talking to in the forest. I will not allow myself or my people be near anyone who will harm us. So you must leave here. However, since you're not from this world and its darker side, I'll allow you to stay the night and sleep in my tent. But you must be gone by morning, or I will ensure you are gone. With that, Vanis took a big gulp and ran into the tent. Before entering the camp, he stopped and asked Xanatos, "Are you sleeping in the tent too?" Xanatos stood up with his back turned to Vanis and spoke quietly as he started to scan the forest. "No, I think I'll just stay here just in case." Vanis entered the tent and saw it was bare with only a few leaves. Lowering himself to the ground, Vanis wrapped his arms around his knees, staring into the ground with his thoughts racing. Questions plagued him. What do these people want? Why is Elentran following him? What does she want? Once his mind calmed down, he began to look around the tent and realised it had been a long time since he sat alone with his thoughts in a room of any kind, completely alone. The last time was in the weird cave with the letter from Val. So much has happened since then, so much danger, unknowns and questions. With everything happened, he didn't know if he would survive much longer. Would he ever see his family again? Guilt washed over him as he realised he hadn't thought much about his mother or father due to the chaos. Holding his knees tighter, he buried his head into his arms, wishing he could go home and see his parents one last time. With that last thought, he heard a click and a humming noise and felt that he was being dragged. Elentra, in wolf form, burst through the metal door and entered a room covered in stone brick. As she walked, she transformed in a human form. Her wavy violet hair turned black. Her wine dress changed into darkness. As she passed a few niches, walking towards a man who had his back to her, staring into the fire flames. As she neared, he turned to face her. His face was hidden behind half white and half blue mask. He spoke. "So, what can you tell me?" So that's the end of the chapter. So not a lot has happened in this chapter. I think this was the chapter when I finally decided who the baddie will be. And I have a few scenes that I know that I want to get to. So now these future chapters now is going to build up the character and build up to the scenes where you get more answers about the baddies and their true intentions and so on. So can't give much more than that because I give spoilers. But yeah, so this was when I kind of decided where the story is probably going to go and who the baddie is. So now the next few chapters I'm going to try to build on that. As you can tell by the story, he's still weakling, so I need to change that. The next few chapters will be probably still more build up and getting more answers and kind of getting better understanding of where I'm trying to go. I hope you're enjoying the story overall. I know it's not the fastest paced story. I still hope that you're enjoying the story regardless. And hopefully you keep listening to the story. And again, as usual, if you like the story, please follow if you haven't followed. And as I mentioned before, I love feedback on the story. So as this podcast is available on multi-platforms, don't really keep track on if someone has commented on the podcast, etc. It's very time consuming and hard for me to do that. Except for YouTube. YouTube, it's easy for me to do that. If you want to provide feedback or you want to get in touch or have any questions about my story, the best way to get in touch with me would be through my website and through either contact form or sign up on my newsletter. I love to hear your feedback and I love to know if you're enjoying the story. and answer any questions you may have regarding my writing. Also, I would love you to follow on my social media platforms. All these details are in the description if you're interested in doing so. So that's all I have to say for now. Like I said, I just hope you're enjoying the story, and I really just thank you for listening, and I hope you have a good day.